so weak, so I get because I'm bad, you know I'm bad, you know it.
Are you ready? Okay. Despite the controversy, Michael Jackson's legacy will forever be connected to his musical genius, compassion for others, and unquestionable influence over the world. Although stained by controversy and rumors, there's no question that Michael Jackson's legacy will forever live in the hearts of not only those fortunate enough to have witnessed the magic of his music at its peak, but also those he continues to influence even after his death. This goes to the king, Michael Jackson. I'll begin by talking about Michael Jackson's musical accomplishments, his Motown roots, those that influence him, and the heights he reached at the peak of his career. Okay, first of all, we have the Jackson 5. Jackson's successful career began in 1968 when the then 9-year-old prodigy captured Motown by surprise. Some of the band's greatest hits include I'll Be There, Never Can Say Goodbye, and I Found That Girl, among many others. Later in his career, Jackson credited Motown great James Brown, Jackie Wilson, Little Richard, Diana Ross, and Bee Gees as some of the most influential figures in his life. Determined on acquiring more creative control over their music, the Jackson brothers then left Motown in 1975 for Epic Records. A blessing in disguise, the move allowed Michael Jackson to start focusing more on his solo career. Nobody was more important at the beginning of Michael Jackson's solo career than producer Quincy Jones. Their collaboration resulted in the production of 3 of Michael Jackson's greatest albums, Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad, all 3 of which have sold more than 150 million copies worldwide. The highlight of the partnership, however, came during the production of We Are the World, a shared single performed by the supergroup of USA for Africa, and which has raised millions in humanitarian aid both for Africa and the US. Released in '82, Thriller is probably the greatest musical accomplishment by Michael Jackson in his life, selling more than 1 million copies per week at its peak, and more than 100 million copies worldwide so far. The album is definitely the highest selling album of all time. Other accomplishments include 7 of the 9 singles reaching top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and winning 8 Grammys, including both Record and Album of the Year. These accomplishments, however, are only a shadow of all the world records set by the megastar in his lifetime. Other impressive ones include being the recipient of 13 Guinness World Records, including highest paid entertainer of all time, biggest selling popular album of all time with Thriller, and most successful entertainer of all time. Not to mention the fact that his dancing performances, primarily the robot and the moonwalk, helped transform the music video from a promotional tool into an art form that only a few back then and ever since have been able to master. Besides being a music legend, Jackson was also a great humanitarian, including holding the record for most charities supported by a pop star ever, such as Heal the World Foundation, which was founded to provide medicine to children and fight world hunger, homelessness, and child exploitation and abuse, and We Are the World Foundation, which has raised millions for African and American families. Jackson also donated millions of his own money to countless humanitarian efforts, such as the Michael Jackson United Negro, the Scholarship Fund, Child Help USA, and the Camp Ronald McDonald Good Times. At last, Michael Jackson was one of the most influential personalities of all time. With his music, he helped break down racial barriers and set the stage for new singers such as Mariah Carey, Usher, Britney Spears, and R. Kelly. His style of clothing, singing, and dancing is imitated by millions, and by sponsoring countless humanitarian and charity efforts, he has encouraged millions to get involved in the fight to end hunger, AIDS and HIV, racism, pollution, and more. Though controversy surrounded much of Michael Jackson's career and life, there's no doubt he succeeded in a level no one will ever have anticipated. Now he lives in our hearts as not only a music legend, but also as someone who witnessed the horrors of mankind and tries to persuade his fellow citizens to change. Needless to say, his actions and everything he did stand as a living testament of this everlasting legacy. Long live the King, Michael Jackson.